All right, let's jump right into the weather for September 24th, 2025. And wow, it is a fascinating one today. What we're seeing is basically a tale of two very different, very powerful systems that are pulling all the strings for the weather across the country. So, check this out. On one side, you've got Typhoon Ragasa way out in the South China Sea. And then, on the complete other side, there's this big low-pressure area that's just parked itself between Odisha and West Bengal. The real question is, how on earth are these two interacting? I mean, they're so far apart, but believe me, they're creating a really complex weather pattern for all of us.
So yeah, how does a typhoon all the way over there impact the west coast of India? And what's the deal with that low-pressure system on the east? Let's break it down and see how this whole domino effect is really playing out along the coastlines.
Okay, first off, let's talk about that low-pressure area. This thing is the main event, the real rainmaker for eastern and central India. We're talking significant rain getting dumped on Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and West Bengal. But its reach is huge. It's got this atmospheric trough that extends all the way down to South Andhra. And there's even a cyclonic circulation spinning over Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra because of it.
And get this, we're not just talking about a little drizzle. The intensity here is off the charts. This system is so powerful that folks in Kolkata yesterday were reporting what they called cloudburst-like rain. That just gives you a sense of the sheer power that's packed into this low-pressure system. It's no joke.
All right, now let's switch gears and look at our second big player, Typhoon Ragasa. Now, even though it's way out in the South China Sea, it's so strong that it's creating this massive pull. Think of it like a giant vacuum cleaner. It's literally sucking all that moist air from the Arabian Sea and pulling it right across India's west coast. And you know what that means? Widespread rain.
Okay, so with all that moisture getting yanked in from the Arabian Sea, let's zoom in on the west coast and see exactly what's happening on the ground, especially in Kerala and Karnataka. For Kerala, the picture is pretty straightforward. Rain and lots of it. We're looking at moderate to heavy rain across a whole bunch of districts. I mean, Thrissur, Ernakulam, Idukki, Pathanamthitta, the list goes on and on. Basically, if you're anywhere in Kerala today, you're definitely going to want that umbrella.
Now over in Karnataka, it's a bit of a different story depending on where you are. The coastal areas, Kodagu, Dakshina Kannada, Udupi, they're getting the full force of that moisture with moderate to heavy rain. But the further you move inland, say towards Bengaluru, things calm down a lot. It'll be mostly cloudy with maybe just some light rain here and there.
All right, let's swing our focus back to the east and check in on Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Let's see how that low-pressure system is treating them.
In Andhra Pradesh, it's really a tale of two halves. You've got this clear north-south divide. Up north, in places like Srikakulam and Visakhapatnam, they're right in the path of that trough. So yep, more moderate to heavy rain for them. But as you travel south towards Rayalaseema, the rain pretty much fizzles out. A huge difference.
And we're seeing a pretty similar pattern in Telangana. The western districts are going to get hit with moderate to heavy rain because they're closer to that cyclonic circulation we talked about. Now, if you're in Hyderabad or nearby, it's a much milder forecast. Just expect cloudy skies with a chance of some light to moderate showers passing through.
All right, time to zoom in on Tamil Nadu. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the 24-hour forecast because it's getting a little bit of everything from these systems. So when we look at the map for Tamil Nadu, it's a real mixed bag. You've got these specific pockets, especially along the Western Ghats and in districts like Nilgiris and Salem, that are going to see some decent, moderate rain. But for most of the state, think southern districts, central areas, the Delta, and even up north near Chennai, it's a much quieter story, mostly just light rain and cloudy skies. Oh, and one more thing for Tamil Nadu, and this is important. No matter how much rain you get, expect the winds to pick up. You're going to feel an increase in those surface winds pretty much everywhere, so just keep that in mind.
So, after all that, what's the bottom line? What does this actually mean for you on the ground? Well, that brings us to a really great practical question that someone sent in.
We heard from a farmer over in Thurban-Mamalai, which is an area expecting pretty light rain, and he asked a perfect question. Can I spray my pesticides today? I mean, this is exactly why we do this, to turn the forecast into something you can actually use. And the answer is a big yes. The next 24 hours are looking like a fantastic window for that kind of farm work. But, and this is super important, that window is going to close. In about 36 to 48 hours, widespread rain is set to make a comeback. So you've got this perfect but short opportunity to get that work done.
So when you put it all together, you see that today's weather isn't just random chance.
It's really a story of these two major systems, the low pressure over eastern India and that powerhouse typhoon way out east. And once you understand how those two are working together, this whole complex pattern we're seeing across South India starts to make a lot of sense.
And that really brings it all back to you. We've walked through the whole forecast, from the heavy downpours on one coast to the little dry spells on the other. So the big question is, now that you know what's driving the weather, are you prepared for what's coming to your area?